Welcome to this edition of Leading Real Estate Experts. I'm your host, Dan Ruzicka. Today we're going to be revealing the inside secrets to protection from real estate foreclosure with one of the nation's top foreclosure prevention specialists. If you or anyone you know is facing real estate foreclosure or even just a little bit behind on your payments, stay tuned. You're about to get the answers you need to make the right decision.
You're watching Leading Real Estate Experts, the show that brings you the inside information and trade secrets from real estate experts in your area. It's inside information that you need to know if you are buying, selling, leasing, building, or financing any piece of real estate within the next 20 minutes or in the next 20 years. And now, here is your host, Dan Ruzicka.
Welcome back. I'm Dan Ruzicka, and you're watching Leading Real Estate Experts. I'm very fortunate to have with me in studio Michael Schaaf of Phoenix Endeavor LLC. Michael Schaaf has been a full-time real estate investor for over 25 years and is president of Phoenix Endeavor LLC and the leading foreclosure prevention specialist in Central Ohio. Mr. Schaaf is also a licensed attorney in the state of Ohio, and he originally began investing in real estate when he was a student at Capital University Law School. He actually managed to put himself through law school with his earnings from his real estate investments. He's been investing in real estate ever since that time, and his background as an attorney has helped him to understand and structure many deals that most investors probably have never heard of. He's been responsible for buying and selling over 400 homes in the past 25 years, and as president of Phoenix Endeavor, is one of the leading experts on foreclosure and foreclosure prevention in the country. His company helps people get out of foreclosure by purchasing their homes and using a little-known method called the short sale in addition to government programs. Mike has an insider's view of the foreclosure process because years ago he actually went through a foreclosure himself. He's developed a website called myfinancialsurvival.com to help people better understand the foreclosure process and avoid the mistakes that he made when he was in foreclosure. Now, Mike, you actually, welcome to the show, first of all. I appreciate you being here.
Thank you.
And actually, you went through a foreclosure yourself. Is that true?
That's absolutely correct, Dan. It was back in 1992. I had been running a successful business for many years when the economy changed, and I suddenly found myself strapped for cash. And my first reaction was, of course, I wanted to save the house.
Right.
And I borrowed money from friends and family, borrowed money from business associates, ran up credit cards. And in the end, I actually lost my house to the sheriff's sale.
Wow, which is most common, I guess. That happens a lot.
Yes, it does.
The reality of it. And tell me, in today's market, what's the person that's in foreclosure? What are they facing today? What's coming at them?
Well, once you get into foreclosure, into that process and wrapped up in it, you're literally bombarded with confusing foreclosure litigation, misleading claims, bad information. It's an information overload that comes from a variety of sources. You've got flaky mortgage brokers out there that are promising loans that never come through, real estate agents that want to sell your house but they can't because it's financed too high, attorneys, and of course then there's amateur investors out there that purport to be foreclosure specialists. So it's really an information overload that you're faced with.
So really all kinds of confusion. Who do I trust? What's happening? Who can really do this? That kind of thing is just back and forth.
Exactly.
Yeah. And tell me, as far as the foreclosure process, how fast can that come upon somebody? What kind of time frame, or how does that occur? I know that's one of the major concerns for everybody in that place is, am I going to get kicked out tomorrow? Is there going to be a sheriff there? What's going to happen in my life? Can you shed some light on that and how they can find out?
That's actually the first question that everyone asks is how long do I have before they kick me out of the house?
Where am I going?
And we did a study, in my office we did a study, we looked at over 500 cases in Franklin County to determine the timeline from the time that the case is filed in the court until the time that the gavel comes down. And what we found is really a range, and it's different in each individual case.
Okay.
What the client can do, when you come into our office, we can sit down with you and look and determine, based upon our study of those other cases, exactly where you are in the foreclosure process and how much time you have.
Okay, so they can get with you and then they can really better understand what they're facing. Any cost to that if they come in? Any kind of charge?
No, absolutely no cost when you come into our office. We do all that as a service.
So they can call in and kind of find out exactly where they're at.
Yes.
Okay, excellent. And I know you studied foreclosure for decades. You've been in that process. I know you've done some research that really nobody has done in the industry as far as that goes on. What's the biggest mistake you see people in foreclosure making every day on a daily basis?
The biggest mistake that you make in the foreclosure process is the same mistake that I made back in 1992, trying to save the house. The first reaction is, oh, I need to borrow money. I need to try to catch the payments up. And really all it is throwing bad money after good. You really need to unload that house, that financial burden, and move on to a situation that is better for you.
And off camera we talked a little bit about that as far as you said that most people that try and fight to save the house end up spending a huge amount of money and end up not in that house anyway.
That's correct.
The bank ends up getting that money that they could have been using to go someplace else and getting a fresh and a better start.
Absolutely right.
Okay, all right. And that kind of leads to my next questions. What kind of solutions do you provide somebody when they call in? What kind of things can you do for them?
Well, we provide a complete solution to the person. We provide 3 types of assistance. Number 1, we buy your house and provide you with cash that you need when you're financially strapped.
And
the second solution that we do is we provide moving assistance. We'll hire a professional moving crew to move you to any location in Central Ohio. And the third thing that we do is we will enroll them in a professional credit repair program so that at the end of the whole process, they're much better off for having dealt with us.
Okay. Now, I want to make sure that I get that clear and I've heard that right. What you're telling me is that everybody that does business with you, they're going to get cash in their hand.
That's correct.
They're going to get moving expenses to get them onto a new place, and you're going to pay to have their credit cleaned up. Is that right?
Absolutely correct.
Wow. And we talked earlier, I know that's industry leading. That truly is. That's a fabulous option for those folks.
No one else in Central Ohio provides the level of service that we provide.
Wow. Yeah, that's tremendous. You know, in preparation for this interview, we were talking, and one of the things you mentioned that it's better for them to act now rather than later. And maybe you can talk a little bit about that in the timing process for them kind of to get a direction versus to maybe just do nothing.
Yeah, absolutely. You want to take advantage of, you want to take a proactive role in your foreclosure.
Okay.
Don't let the bank dictate the timetable. Don't let the sheriff's office dictate the time level. If you get involved at the beginning of the process, you can control when you move out, and you'll have, at the beginning of the process, you have many more solutions than you do at the end of the process. So the key is to step right up and deal with the problem at the beginning.
And they can actually take control of their situation rather than kind of be swept away by the bank's control.
Absolutely.
Wow, and cash in hand.
Yes, sir.
That's great. We've got to come to our first break here, Mike. When we come back, we'll be talking about short sales and little-known government programs that Mike uses every day to start foreclosures and how you can find out whether you qualify or not for these special programs. We'll be back in just 60 seconds.